us about the Ryder Cup today and tell us what we need to know.
Well, I think the first thing we need to know is that Europe definitely dominates in the the foursomes. That's what we like to call over here alternate shot. It comes as very little surprise, I guess, considering they probably grow up on it. They love match play over there in Europe, and we suck. And then we get over to the four balls. The team seems a little energized. You got some guys out there like JT and Jordan in that leadoff match. You got Xander and Colin Morikawa anchoring, and they get smoked. Team USA is looking really good, like midway through the back nine, and then they just couldn't close any matches. So there was actually a point midway through the back nine of the four balls that that USA. When I say USA, I mean the broadcast puts up a graphic saying potential for a 5-3 finish at the end of day one, and that doesn't sound that bad. It's like, okay, these are not insurmountable odds. People have come back from this plenty before, and they screwed the pooch. All three of those matches we were leading in, by the time they came off the 18th green, they were a tie. So that led us to a 6.5 to 1.5 Team Europe lead after day one. And basically all the damage we did at Whistling Straits has been undone.
Does that surprise you at all, Pat?
Absolutely not. They were going to get their cheeks clapped a month ago, I believe. It was still true. It could be the worst Ryder Cup score in history, and I don't even know what that is.
We could talk about that.
I knew you were going to have some research for us.
Well, I felt like rather than screen sharing, I could just read some notes that I took.
Go for it. I would be surprised if they got 5 points.
Well, Pat, if that comes to fruition, I am going to hold that against you forever and ever. So here's some basic Ryder Cup history, and I got all this information off of the actual Ryder Cup website in the history page that they have on it. So this is not anything that necessarily isn't out there. I think it's just maybe the way I compiled the information to spit it out at you folks might be what makes it interesting. So in the history of the Ryder Cup, this is the 44th playing of it. So we've had 43 events so far. The United States has won 27 of the 43 that have already been played, and Europe's played 14, or excuse me, has won 14, and there's only been 2 ties. In those 43 events, that's been 1,012 matches. 363 different players have competed in the Ryder Cup. Something that I thought was pretty interesting is today they play for 28 points, so the magic number is 14.5. Of course, if you're just trying to retain the cup, you're trying to get to 14 because they have 28 matches, each and every event now. But from 1927, which is the first year, to 1959, they actually played for just 12 points, and the teams were the same size, 12 players. So it just shows you they played a lot fewer matches. The home field advantage that we hear the media talk about, sometimes it feels like just the media hyping some statistic up. It is a real thing.
It has to be massive. I mean, it's got to be massive, right?
It is massive. So get this, Pat.
Okay.
In 43 Ryder Cups that have already been contended, the home team has won 28 times. The away team has gone in on hostile territory, on hostile links, and won just 13 times. Again, there's been two ties. So that
when were
gets
the ties?
The ties were in 1969. Okay. And then
is that when Tony Jacklin and Jack kissed?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't even know why I dignify that. But yes, 1969, 1969 was the first half. And then the next one, I believe that was in 89. I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty confident it was in 89. So let's fast forward a little bit. The first away team to win was the U.S. Went to Southport and Ansdale in 1937, and beat what was just then Great Britain. Then in 1969, we did have that first tie at Royal Birkdale, and this was actually considered to be like the most contentious or like the most I don't know, tightly contested Ryder Cup. And so they were playing 32 matches that year, and they were playing for more than 28 points. And 17 of those 32 matches actually went to the 18th hole. So that had to have been a lot of fun to watch, and it's too bad we didn't get to watch that kind of golf today. The
Hey, I
score
got a
then,
question.
yeah,
When did it switch from Great Britain to all of Europe? Do you have any idea?
Great question.
that was in the 80s. I don't know exactly the year, but it was in the 80s.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So
Because
can we get a little extra credit available here for you, Scott, on when did the British Open go back to the Open Championship?
Excuse me, the British Open was never the British Open. It's always been the Open Championship.
It was referred to as the British Open numerous times.
I'm
talking about the reference of the British Open.
So that is by the American media calling it the British Open. It has always been the Open Championship for the 150 something odd years it's been contested. So,
Right.
or 170 years it's been contested.
But there was a time when it went away. Was it all at once or did it progress away? I was asking the question. I'm not sure. I just know that everybody referred to it at one point as the British Open, always. Outside of Europe. Obviously, that was I'm American kind of thing. I don't watch the British media talk about the Ryder Cup,
I wouldn't even call it outside of Britain, dude. I would say it was probably just in the United States. They called it the British Open. And it's because the American media, and who knows, maybe the USGA as well, but the American media didn't want to distinguish the Open Championship as such because they wanted the US Open to be referred to, the Open.
Right.
So that was.
Did you guys know that the British Open used to give out a championship belt like wrestling?
No.
Can't say I knew that.
Yeah, way back in the day, like the first championships that like the Tom Morrises won, the old and the young, they were giving out a championship belt. And I think the young Tom Morris, he won it and lost it. That's when they switched to the claret jug.
I think actually I did know that because now that I think about it, I have been to old and young Tom Morris's grave. We snuck in, and
That's
they
a
had
weird place to go.
Well, I was in Scotland when I was 18. All right, so we didn't get to the Abbey until after it had closed, and so there was like 8 of us and 4 dads, and the dads were like, "We didn't see anything if you guys happen to go over that fence." So what did we do? We scaled the like 8 or 10-foot fence and went in.
Took pictures at the grave of old Tom Morris like he was one of your ops that you shot down in a rival gang and shit.
Of all things to do, like questionably break the law in Scotland, I'm not picking that.
I'll tell you what was even better about it was I was one of only 2 that could have been charged as an adult.
Oh, man.
Everybody else was like 16 and 17. There's me and this one guy, BJ.
I'm just hating.
So,
That's pretty
so
cool.
you and a
I'm
guy
not gonna
named
lie.
BJ snuck into the cemetery at night. Whoa, hang on.
No. All right. So his name
His
is
nickname
Ryan.
was BJ.
His name is Ryan Bjorklund, and it's like a Swedish name, and Bjorklund is spelled BJ Orklund.
So that's funny. You call him BJ because his last name has a B and a J at the front.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's funny. All right,
Yeah.
so back to the Ryder Cup. All right. When was the last time like an away team won?
So the last time an away team won was
Those are
the
ones that,
the
like, Rory
Europeans.
played on.
The Europeans won in 2004 at Oakland Hills.
Yeah, that was the Rory Champagne one, wasn't it?
No, Rory didn't come on the scene till like 2008. Rory was only about 14 years old, maybe 13. And
Yeah, but the one that they won over here when he played, right?
yeah, that was in 2012 when they came from
EJ's last
behind.
one was the last one that they won, an away team won.
That was in 2004 at Oakland Hills, and Europe decimated the United States 18.5 to 9.5.
Okay.
So here I got some more facts, and these are actually way more interesting than like the first half of what I just gave you. So the Europeans, as I've come to find out, they're redundant. All right. There have been 3 Bernards who have been the captain. One is Bernard Hunt. He did it twice. Bernard Gallagher, he was captain 3 times. And then Bernard, or as you know, the Germans like to say Bernhard Longer, and he was captain just once. Interestingly enough, Tony Jacklin was also a captain 4 times. And he's the guy that, you know, as EJ put it, he kissed Nicholas in '69. Another
Not
guy.
anything gay, like on the cheek, like with tea. You know what I'm saying? Like the English do.
So
He was the captain 4 times?
yeah, and so was Charles Whitcomb.
Like,
Then there was this.
have we had multiple team captains?
We have Tom
Azinger?
Watson. No, Azinger just did it once, but Tom Watson's been a captain 2 or 3 times. Davis Love was twice. In the very beginning, Walter Hagen did it like 3 or 4 times, and Sam Snead did it a couple times.
Yeah, back in their day. Yeah, I could see that.
But here's a name that not even me, somebody who actually gets into the history of golf, has even heard. Di Reese. If I'm saying that pronouncing, Di Reese. DAIREES. So maybe it's even Di Reese. I don't know.
Sounds Asian.
Yeah. 5 times he was the captain for the Euros.
What?
Yeah. So then get this. To further the
Must have been
redundancy.
back when it started.
Yeah, it was back like in their early and more like their mid years. So like their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And then get this. The Belfry has hosted the Ryder Cup 4 times, you know, in England. 3 of them were consecutive European rotations. And that was coming out of the 90s into the 2000s.
And we
Like
lost each one of them, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain.
No wonder they kept going
No,
back.
excuse me. In 93, so interestingly enough, talking about the Belfry, we won in 93. And that was actually the last time the United States won the Ryder Cup on foreign soil.
Wow.
Here's some extra credit for you fellers. Who was the captain that year? The American captain.
What year?
Let's
93 see. At the Belfry.
93. I would say
Tom Watson.
Ding 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 ding. You have won a porterhouse.
I was gonna guess Jim Dent.
Jim Dent would have been a hell of a Ryder Cup captain, but I don't know if he made it.
Yeah, no. I was thinking like old guys in like older guys in the 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be Tom Watson. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Who do you think are the next US captains moving forward?
Tiger.
Yeah.
I think he's the next captain. Like he's done. He's gonna embrace being done, and then he's gonna be the Ryder Cup captain. And then I think he'll be the Ryder Cup captain the next year too.
Yeah, I think they'll give it to him until he doesn't want to do it.
I mean, that's all I can dream up, right? And I mean, Tiger gets to make the captain's picks. Like, come on, that'd be way better than anything we're watching this entire Ryder Cup. Just to hear what Tiger picks, it will be a, you know, LeBron choice kind of ESPN deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He'll
There'll be a
sit
press
down and give all the
conference that Tiger
proceeds to
makes
the
his
Boys and
picks.
Girls
Yeah.
Club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
with a Nike hat on backwards. God, I can't wait.
So I'm gonna answer honestly, but I'm gonna tell you who I hope it is. So honestly, I don't think it'll be Tiger, and I think it'll be Freddie Couples because they're trying really hard to bring up captains like through the ranks, and Tiger is
Freddie's
not
a good one.
Tiger. I mean, I'm sure he's still involved quite a bit, but he's not a captain in this one. And I'm not. Correct me on this, but was he a captain, like a vice captain in 21?
No.
That whistling? Yeah, so I mean, he's been out of the loop with the Ryder Cup now as, an actual team member, like an on-site team member for a little while.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the President's Cup captain?
He has been a President's Cup captain,
Yes.
and it was not last year, but the year before, or the cup before. And he played. It was the one in 2019 down at Royal Melbourne.
Right. He was a playing captain.
He was. But
Which
yeah,
doesn't count.
Do you
my
think he
opinion.
would pick himself if he was the Ryder Cup captain?
no, I don't think he would, because I
I
think
bet he would.
I'll tell you honestly, I think the biggest reason why he went ahead and played in 2019 was because he won Eastlake, then he won Zozo, and then the Masters, or maybe went Eastlake, Masters, Zozo. But he had like 2 or 3 wins under his belt going into it, one of them being a major. Like, he had every reason. But Tiger's realistic. He knows there's no way in hell he can justify
That
being
would
a
be
captain
super,
even in 2 years.
super swaggy. Super swaggy. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
With the 12th pick, you know what? Fuck it. I'm taking me.
Laser him up, baby.
Actually, you know what? With the 11th pick, I'm picking me. With the 12th, I'm playing alternate shot with my son.
Yeah.
Right now, I think his son has more potential to score a point than Tiger does, especially if they're playing anywhere like Marco Simone.
All right, I got another Tiger question for you since we're talking Tiger.
Yeah.
Let's say you are an almighty being and you approach Tiger Woods and you say, "Hey, listen, yo, I'm going to give you the choice. You can either get your wish to walk and play the PGA Tour until you're 50, or I'm going to give you unlimited walking and you can caddy all of your son shit." Which do you think he's picking?
You're trying to poke at me.
Uh-huh, I am.
You are totally trying to poke at me. Pat, you answer first.
Plays. He plays.
See, I think
He's
it's
a
the
killer.
opposite.
He's a killer, I think.
I know
And
he
it's
is,
like,
man.
I can play till I'm 50 and my legs are healthy, and he'd probably go, "Is my back healthy?" And then you'd have
Yes,
to say
let's
yes. And
say
then he says, "Let's go play golf, baby."
yes. So let's say the almighty being grants him unlimited health until 50 to play, right? Back's good, legs good, everything. But like your health deteriorates after that and you're kind of fucked up. Or
Yep.
you have not playable health, but good enough health to be able to caddy and carry a bag for your kid for the rest of his career if he wants you to.
I think he doesn't want a caddy because I think he knows that Charlie will play better if he gets him a caddy instead of his dad on the bag.
Yeah, I think it'll get to a point where Tiger caddying for Charlie.
Tiger's gonna step out of the way and he's gonna be behind the ropes just like Earl was.
Yeah.
And see, and this is why EJ's trying to get at me. So I completely agree with that sentiment, Pat. But I think Tiger probably knows somewhere in the back of his head it's a little douchey that he's out there caddying for his son, not for his son's sake, but because that has to be a freaking distraction for these other kids. Like,
Yeah.
and there definitely comes a point when they got to man up and be able to deal with the distractions, but it's not every day that you're going to
But
just
talk
show.
about a distraction, though. Like,
Yeah,
that's Tiger.
that's
You know,
Tiger. It would have been just
you're
the same
14.
if,
It's Tiger. You know.
yeah, it would have been just the same as if Jack Nicklaus was out caddying for Gary or for
Yeah.
Jackie when they were playing, or like Arnold Palmer if he had been, out there on the loop for Sam Saunders, which by the way, I competed against Sam Saunders and Arnold was there. And I
Yeah.
mean, he bought me,
And
we talked about this. He bought me a freaking Gatorade and I handed it to my mom and I was like, I need you to buy me another one. Like I was more distracted with the Gatorade I was about to drink than I was playing.
yeah. Yeah.
And then you're going to take somebody as transcendent as a Tiger or an Arnold, and you're going to put him on the bag for all 18 holes. Like, it's kind of cool, but at the same time, I'm more worried about how cool it is than probably golfing my ball. So I think Tiger probably knows that too. And I don't think he's enough. I don't think he's that kind of guy that he's going to do it forever. I think he's going to come to the point where he's like, Charlie's going to benefit and probably so are these other kids.
Yeah.
Do you think kids that are Charlie's age give a fuck about Tiger Woods?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Why are they still wearing Nike? Because their apparel sucks.
Because he's the greatest player to ever put a peg in the ground.
Rory,
That's why.
He's the
Brooks,
greatest player. He's the greatest player to put a peg in the ground wearing Nike.
Jason Day,
Jason Day.
JJ Henry,
I'd much rather meet Jason Day.
Harold Varner III.
HB3,
Him too.
baby. That's Jordan.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that are out here that are swaggy. Originally it was just Tiger, but now it's everybody's got sauce.
Yeah, and Nike also has David Duval. I mean, come on.
David Duval didn't have the sauce though.
I know
He
that's
was
what
a
I'm
He did
trying
killer,
to
back
get
in
at.
the day, though. He did back in the day when everybody was wearing the long sleeve shirts, man. He had it going on.
Yeah.
Dude, him and VJ and a little bit of Phil, but him and VJ were definitely a thorn in Tiger's ass for a while.
I really liked
Yeah.
VJ.
Oh, I read an article about how it wasn't
The
David
fact that
Duval.
people talk about, I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say I read an article and it was I think it was what's his name? Adam Scott's caddy now.
Steve
Williams said that it wasn't David Duval, it wasn't Phil Mickelson that Tiger would worry about, or even Ernie Els. It was VJ Singh. Like
I believe that.
if there was a player that could get underneath Tiger's skin, that could get Tiger's attention when they were on the golf course, it was VJ. Pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, because you could tell that VJ's like got different discipline in his brain than everybody else.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, the VJ's the one you don't want to play heads up the last 5 holes. No, you want to play David Duval because of getting his own head. You know what I mean? Like, that's, like VJ ain't doing that.
Yeah.
No. VJ's Fijian. I don't
Correct.
even know where that island is on a globe. And he made his way somehow to a PGA tour. To like elite status on the PGA tour.
Yeah.
And like
That
the amount of golf balls that he did, and his arms were still connected to his body.
Yeah, that requires more discipline than most people have. So I would be scared the most of VJ Singh. And Ernie Els would probably be second. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody that's really from somewhere that like South Africa, you know what I'm saying? I know there's been some dope players from South Africa, but damn, man, that's so far away. And you're like,
you were still one of the very few that are out there from South Africa. It's not like we ship 100, you know what I mean? Like 100 players over to join the tour every year.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this.
Like I can name Gary Player and Ernie Els and Retief Goosen. There you go. There's 3.
Yeah.
Let me ask you boys this: if John Daly had VJ Singh's work ethic, what do you think would have happened?
John Daly would have been no good because he wouldn't be able to hit it as far and he wouldn't be able to hold the swing that he did for the years that he did. You can't hit balls like VJ and swing like John Daly. In my
I
opinion.
think so. I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question, but I will tell you this. To me, the two most talented golfers of all time probably would be John Daly and Bobby Jones. Just talking about like raw talent.
Right.
So I
Mo
don't
Norman
know.
was the best ball striker ever.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Norman. Yeah.
That's a
You know
fair.
what I mean? Like you gotta think about guys that can hit a golf ball. You know,
Yeah.
like Mo Norman could hit a golf ball.
Oh yeah.
He's got the
that was about
craziest
it.
stats too.
Yeah.
Mo Norman's stats are fucking nuts.
14 fairways, 18 greens at Augusta.
Yeah.
And was probably just yapping the entire time.
Yeah. Probably had 43 putts like me. Shot an 81 or some shit.
Yeah, well, the difference was he was playing on greens that are actually really challenging compared to ones that are just flat from front to back.
Yeah. Well, we all have our
But they
weaknesses.
rolled a 8 or a 9.
Mo
Yeah.
Norman. Yeah, man, he was a stick. He was a stick. Canadian. Okay.
Can I get back to
Yeah,
history for just one more?
We have like the longest deviations. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But this is actually the part of the facts that I got to that I'm most excited about.
Okay, hit us.
So 2002 to 2008 and then 2014 to 21 were the Massacre Cups, or what I'm calling the Massacre Cups. So check this out, fellas. 2002, Europe wins 15.5 to 12.5 at the Belfry. 2004, Europe wins 9.5 to 18.5 at Oakland Hills. 2006, Europe wins 18.5 to 9.5 at the K Club. 2008, the U.S. wins 16.5 to 11.5 at Valhalla. And then 2010, 2012 were actually some tightly contested cups. But then you go right back to it in 2014, and there's another massacre. Europe wins 16.5 to 11.5 at Glen Eagles. 2016, the U.S. wins 17 to 11 at Hazeltine. 2018, Europe smashes us 17.5 to 10.5 at Le Golf National. And then in 21, as we all know, the largest margin of victory in the Ryder Cup was the U.S. 19 to 9 at the American Club, which is also, the home of Whistling Straits. And it's like it's just
So that's
continuing
the
this year.
largest victory ever?
Yeah,
Oh, we're on a record pace, boys.
I know. And it calls to question for me, just like looking at these statistics or these facts, should they make some changes and almost find more neutral sites, or should like a governing body be setting up these events more so than team captains? Because I'm not going to deny there's a lot of hype for me, but after what I've watched today, round one, or excuse me, day one, a lot of that hype is gone. Like I'm still going to watch tomorrow, but like I've almost lost interest until Sunday single matches. And it's just because I hope to see like, I don't know, Scotty playing Rom, and I don't know.
Would you rather see Scotty play Rom, Rory, or Hovland?
I'd rather see Scotty play Rom because those two were going at each other the first half of this past season.
I think Rom's gonna fuck Scotty up if he gets him 1-on-1.
Yeah.
I think so too.
And then
Rom owes him a beatdown.
You know
Yeah,
what
he
though?
does.
Scotty was making some putts today, especially in
That's
the 4
scary.
ball. He was making putts. And
I
I
think when you
think
get in singles and John Rahm's on your ass, you don't putt the same as you do in team golf.
Well, the
Well,
thing
didn't-
is, Scotty dusted John Rahm at Whistling Straits like
Yeah.
5-0.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll say Scotty's already beaten him once, so maybe Rom wants to get him back on home, on some fair
Oh yeah,
territory.
John Rahm owes Scott Scheffler an absolute dusting.
He
Yeah,
does.
but I also want to keep this in perspective for you guys. If Scotty's making putts, he maintained world number 1 with pretty much the shittiest
dude.
putting statistics the second half of the PGA Tour.
And I'm with you. If he's making putts, that's the scariest shit on earth. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because
Like,
the ball striking display that he put on tour this year was fucking second to Tiger.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, do you have the lists of both like teams?
yeah, what do you want to know?
If you could like list the teams in like order by, I guess, highest rank or how they qualified or whatever, and we could go through like potential Sunday matches, I'd like to do that.
Well,
And I would like to.
if I were better prepared, I would actually go through what we already compiled.
Right. And the other question is, do we know what the pairings are for Saturday morning?
We do.
Yeah.
Where do you want to
They're about
start?
play here in a minute.
Either one.
Yeah. All right, let's start with the teams.
Okay.
So Europe has.
What are we playing? Oh,
So,
you're just
we're
going through
kinda
the
just
list
laying
of the
out Sunday
teams
singles.
themselves. I'm sorry. Never mind. My fault.
No, it's okay. So they got Ludwig A. Berg, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, Terrell Hatton, Nikolai Hjorgaard, Victor Hovland, Shane Lowry, Bob McIntyre, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Justin Rose, and Sepp Straka, who's pretty much American.
From Valdosta.
Yeah. And then the U.S. has Sam Burns, Patrick Cantley, Wyndham Clark, Ricky Fowler, Brian Harmon, Max Homa, Brooks, Colin Morikawa, Xander, Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, and Justin Thomas.
All right, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Is Brooks the second best player on the U.S. team?
By far.
Yeah.
Is Brooks going to play Rory in Sunday singles?
Well, right now, given the fact that Brooks was talking a little shit
I
about
think they
Rahm.
bring Hovland out second.
All right, so let's say Rahm plays
I
Scotty.
would put Hovland out before I put Rory out.
Hovland is Brooks versus Hovland.
That'd be a good match.
Fuck yeah. I would rather watch Brooks
I'm being
versus
honest.
Rory.
I think I would rather watch Brooks versus Rory, and I think I would like to see JT take on Hovland.
No.
Yeah.
JT gets slaughtered.
JT gets murked.
Like, you don't even get to see like the last 5 holes.
That's okay. JT played better than Jordan. I think right now they gotta hide Jordan and play him against, like, I don't know, Bob McIntyre.
Do you know who I think wants Rory?
Who? Tell me.
Wyndham Clark.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Dude,
No.
I think that would actually be a really good match.
You know who I want to see play Rory? The Bulldog, Brian Harmon.
No, fuck that. That's crazy.
Oh
That's
yeah. I want to see it. I want to see it.
We gotta go straight. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't think that would. I think Wyndham Clark versus Rory would be a good match because they both hit it a goddamn mile.
Well, if you want to see guys bombing it, then let's play Wyndham Clark against Nikolai Hjorgaard, because he has a swing that's about as short as John Rahm's, and he bounces the ball. I mean, it is stupid how far that kid's hitting. He's only 22 years old.
All right, let's see.
I want to see Harmon against Rory. I think that'd be amazing, because I think Harmon would relish the opportunity. He would relish the story of, Peter slaying the dragon.
I mean, I don't disagree. Harmon's a killer. What about
Who's Tommy Fleetwood gonna play?
Xander.
And beating the brakes off of him.
Cantlay and Xander and Max? Who are they taking on?
I think-
Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick,
I think
and Lowry.
I think Homa against
Carol
like
Hatton.
Lowry would be interesting. I don't know. I don't know who'd want Fitzpatrick right now.
No one.
I guess maybe Cantley because Fitzpatrick plays fast, so you try and neutralize him with a slow player like Cantley.
God, if that's our fucking strategy, we need to just go jump in the goddamn fucking Trevi Fountain. We suck.
Scott's over there slow playing them all of a sudden. It's like, no. Like, that's how we're going to win? No, we're not.
We
We're gonna
put
get
Cantlay
murdered.
out first and he slow plays the rest of the U.S. to a fucking disastrous victory.
Brooks Koepka's going to finish with like 7 clubs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, should they? Here's what
He defects. He just leaves the United States.
here's what could potentially
Shit,
happen.
get us a playing homer out of this bitch.
Here, here's what can potentially happen. They put Fitzpatrick and Brooks Koepka out, and they go and play in 2 hours and 43 minutes.
To an all square match.
Mm-hmm.
They both shoot like 61.
Yeah. Having a great time.
Yeah.
They're finished by like 3 a.m. Eastern time and hammered by like 7 a.m. when the sun comes up in New York.
Yeah.
No, man. That would be interesting. So, like, if we were going to group, that's how I think we should kind of do it. Like, group the top 3 on each team because it's clear on the European side that the top 3 guys are Rahm, Rory, and Hovland. So we assume that
Fitzpatrick.
Well,
Fitzpatrick's hotter than Rory right now.
I get there's hotness,
but it's
like,
Rory. I mean, like you got to have Rory in the top 3 because it's Rory and Fitzpatrick. You're going 4, but you're our 3 guy. You get it. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what it is.
All right.
Well, Keith, here's something that's thought provoking. In the last 8 years, Matt Fitzpatrick has won more majors than Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, he's also won the same amount of Ryder Cup points as he has majors.
True. He might have more today.
Yeah, he got more today there, buddy.
He had one today.
He got
which
2.
is equal to his major total. He hadn't had one before today.
Yeah, but homeboy, he won 2 points today.
Didn't he win 1?
2.
Okay, well he has 2, but one good day.
I get it. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still Rory. So
Ryder
the top 3 U.S. guys are Scotty, Koepka,
like,
and who?
He's breathing. He's good to go. He's Rory. He's playing.
Okay, I stand corrected. Mea culpa.
All right, so
Matty Fitz did not play in the morning.
Oh, okay. But I didn't watch, so I wasn't going on any stance or anything. So who's the 3rd best U.S. guy?
Max is super consistent. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question.
That's how bad our team is, right there.
I think
we don't even have a
bad.
3 guy.
I would say probably Max.
Okay.
But you put him into this competition. I mean, I feel like Brian Harman's a tough guy to go against. And then, I mean, I think the most talented player that's on the field is Jordan Spieth. But his head's so far up his ass. And, you know, it's difficult to say what he's going to do. He has moments of brilliance and then moments that looks like putting EJ out there is a better idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, I watched him miss right into a creek on one hole. That was 10th hole. and then he proceeded to stuff it and make par, from like 190, 200 yards out. And
Up
then,
and down.
yeah, and then 2 holes later, he snipe hooks a tee shot. And it's like, okay, so he's missing both directions. That's fabulous.
Okay, so we've got the top group of Rahm, Rory, and Hovland versus the U.S. top group of Scheffler, Brooks, and Homa. How are we feeling we can get 2 of those?
In singles?
Yeah.
I always like our chances in singles.
I think Brooks is winning. Whoever Brooks plays, he's beaten.
I think on Sunday we're going to go 7.5 to 4.5 in singles.
If Rahm plays Scheffler, Rahm's beating Scheffler. So we're even there. Let's say Brooks plays Rory.
Give me a
and
minute
Brooks
or two.
wins.
Hang on.
And let's say it's Homa versus Hovland.
Homa versus Hovland. I gotta go with a Hove.
That's a toss up, man. Like that
Gotta
could
go with
go
the
either
Hove.
way.
So Jordan finally got his wiener wet and he like won or halved the match in singles. So I think he's gonna build on that momentum.
All right, so let's go through the fucking frat boys. All right, so we got JT, Ricky, and Spieth. Who are they gonna play?
How did I know you were gonna ask me a difficult question like that?
Let's say they play the group of Hatton, Fitzpatrick, and
so JT against Hatton for certain.
JT
Jordan
against Hatton.
Jordan
Let's say
against Fitzpatrick.
Yep, and then how about Justin Rose? Let's throw Rosie in there.
I would say Ricky against Tommy Fleetwood.
That would be a fantastic match to watch.
Yeah.
They've both had ups and downs. I do think Fleetwood would probably beat Ricky Fowler at this point.
So here's what's interesting about that. If Ricky's making putts, he's pretty tough to beat right now.
Yeah, no, I know.
And he and Tommy are both just going to go out and ball with their ball striking. They're going to hit a lot of fairways. They both are fairly long off the tee. Neither of them are big dudes, which makes it even more interesting because here are these guys that are like sub 6 feet and they're just going to be smashing, 310-yard drives left and right. And they're going to be throwing darts, so it'll come down to whoever's making the putts. So I'm calling that.
Let's
I'm
say
calling that a tie.
Okay, so I would say that Hovland Homa is potentially a half too.
Okay.
So we've got Hovland and Homa halving, and then we have Fleetwood and Fowler halving. So we're kind of at 2 points each. I think Hatton would beat JT.
He's putting the hand to the ear, and the finger to the mouth. I think he's got his swag back.
He's doing that shit?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You cannot be doing that shit, man.
Of course he can. He's got his swag back, baby.
God, I can't believe that's what he's doing.
And I think Jordan's hungry. So I'm gonna say Jordan and JT pick up a point for us.
That would be great. Who's Jordan gonna beat? Lowry.
Yeah. I was thinking him against Matty Fitzpatrick.
Oh, that's right. And so it was Hatton, Fitzpatrick, and Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Okay, so we still got Lowry on the other side.
So I think a great player for Lowry is Xander Schauffele. And the reason is because, Lowry's that guy that has to be just great to go hang out with. Whether you're talking about like smashing some beers or you're talking about like getting up and having a high noon tea, like he's probably just a cool dude to hang out with. And I can see Xander with his dry humor just like finding a way to crawl up underneath Lowry's skin, and he'll throw a couple of darts, and before you know it, like he'll go probably from 2 down to winning 2 up.
Xander's a great player. I think Xander could dust Lowry.
Do you really?
I do.
I think it'd be like a 2-up victory.
All right, who's playing Cantlay?
Justin Rose.
See, I don't think so. I think
You
they
don't
go
think so?
with like Ludwig against Cantlay.
Ooh, thought-provoking. I like it. So who goes up against Sepp Straka?
I think Brian Harman.
Man, I was kind of hoping to see, Harman take on Rory or Bob McIntyre.
I wouldn't hate Bob McIntyre against Brian Harman, but that would put Straka against like Burns.
Oh, there we go. I like that. Straka against Burns. A couple Southern boys.
And then Hogarth is left on the European side. Who's left on the American side? Morikawa?
Yeah, trash against trash.
Hogarth versus Morikawa. Morikawa should destroy him.
This Hogarth kid, man, he's got buns of steel. The kid, this kid today, like late in the match, just takes a driver and like smashes it on a green over water. He's got some nats, but I will say this, like Colin Morikawa, he's another one of those guys, man. His ball striking doesn't change much. And if he starts to roll some putts.
Yeah, man. Like those guys that can strike the ball like that, their floor is so high.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like Morikawa's bad round is like a 74.
You think it's that high?
Like he would have to play abysmally to shoot a 74.
I mean, I feel like most guys on PGA Tour, yes, but I know what you're trying to say. It's just that like his bad rounds are unfathomably good for the rest of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then that's how all these guys are. Even Spieth. Like that's why I like him, because that motherfucker's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like he's all over the place. And he's the ultimate, hey, I don't care where I hit it because I can get up and down from anywhere. Which is just such swag.
It's something that I felt like they were wearing out today on the broadcast as they were talking about how the Europeans feel like they drive the ball better and they're better long iron and mid iron players in the US. So they're, without saying it, just getting at that the US, hits it long, finds it, and then is really good with their wedges. And I thought it was funny because we all know about the announcer's curse.
But what makes you good at golf? Hitting it a long way and having good wedges.
Today, absolutely. And so they show Brooks. It's like on the 8th or 9th hole. Brooks in the middle of the fairway, and before he swings, he goes. And here's one of the guys that's really good with his wedges, and he takes this wedge, it's like skids it in there, and it holds up like 6 or 8 feet below the hole. And they go, "Yep, that's what we're talking about." And I was just like, on the edge of the seat because of the fact that I'm like, great, thanks guys. Announcer's curse. He's gonna go and flare this thing out to the right and miss the
He's
green.
gonna
Yeah,
skull it over the
skull
green.
it.
Yeah, he's gonna skull it. Yeah.
But he actually did what they said he would do. But they were wearing out that phrase, about the Americans are the best wedge players ever assembled and da 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 da. And I'm like, will you shut up? They're getting smashed right now. Like this is interesting enough on its own because we're waiting, not because you're giving us all this fluff.
Well, the interesting thing is Morikawa and Scheffler are the two best mid-iron players on the tour.
Probably so.
No, it's like facts. I've listened to enough podcasts. Dad of Golf be talking that shit. So we've done like the overview. We think it's pretty even, huh?
It's nowhere close. It's 6.5 to 1.5. Tell me it's pretty even.
No, we're talking about singles.
I don't think
Singles.
it matters. They line
Man, I
them
hope
up.
it's
We
not
got
done by
home court
singles.
advantage. Home course advantage, whatever you want to call it, is huge in this. We've already determined that.
Could Europe win the cup tomorrow?
That's my next question. I've been sitting on that one since like the total was 5 1 year. I was like, can they just finish this thing tomorrow? Is it
I think
possible?
they can.
Absolutely, it's possible, but they
So
won't.
if they win every match
But
tomorrow, it's fucking over.
They'll play just a complimentary round.
I'm
They'll play
calling it.
true exhibition golf. Oh my God, that'd be great.
No, I'm calling it right now. If it's looking like it's going to be over tomorrow, by about the 12th hole, the Italian mafia will intervene,
Yeah.
and that won't happen.
No way. Dude, if it starts looking like it's going to be over on the second day, I'm fully rooting for that. That is like a
Yes.
once in a lifetime, like
You pull
that's
for
like
that.
history.
You have to.
That's like
I
history.
pull for that too, just because the Americans being so funky about the live thing when we lost like legit players to it.
Yeah, I'm
Ooh,
not going to deny. I'm not going to deny that I'm still disappointed they didn't pick Dustin Johnson. I just can't see going into battle without him, and we had to do it. And I'm not saying there's
No, we
somebody
didn't have to do it. We chose to do it.
I think Bryson would have been a good addition too, man.
I do
No,
too.
F
I would
off.
have Bryson DeChambeau
No.
and Dustin Johnson 100%.
Nobody likes Bryson.
Who gives a
Nobody-
fuck, man?
Matter.
Put him
Nobody
with
wants
Brooks.
him
Brooks
there.
will play with his ass.
We're not here to have fun. We're here to win. Then we'll have fun.
Nobody wants to see Bryson.
Damn straight. Europe does
Nobody
not want to
wants
see
us
Bryson.
down 6.5 to 1.5 either. If
And
it
I'm
was
just
tied
saying,
and Bryson DeChambeau was playing, more people would watch tomorrow. I promise.
I think Dustin Johnson would have been a good addition, and I'm thinking probably Sam Burns was the guy that, or no, actually Colin Morikawa was the guy they should have left off.
I'd have left Justin Thomas at home and I brought Bryson DeChambeau or Keegan Bradley.
Okay, so not Bryson, but I could have gotten down with Keegan going over Justin. But here's the thing, Justin is that guy that rides momentum as well as anybody on the American side. And Spieth is probably up there,
This
and that's
ain't
why
his
they
week.
pair so well.
Justin Thomas has the antithesis of momentum going for him right now.
Justin Thomas played better than Jordan Spieth today.
Jordan Spieth had been playing good. He should probably be at home too, in all honesty.
Yeah, no, I think there's a good reason why he's there.
Because he's Jordan Spieth.
For a lot of reasons. The guy won 2 U.S. Juniors. Let's not forget that.
That doesn't
Right.
qualify him for
He's a
this.
3-time major
Yeah.
champion.
And his caddy was a math teacher. Yeah, I get it.
Don't be a hater. He's the golden child.
How many points do you think Michael Block would have gotten us today?
Oh, dude, I was waiting for you to bring up Michael Block. I'm actually surprised you haven't been throwing shade. I mean, he's a world-class ball striker, so I don't know, a half a point.
All right, let me ask you this. Alternate shot, Block, Hagestad. Who do you think they could have beat today?
I don't know, because Block would have held back Hagestad.
I don't think so, man. You have Hagestad there. I think they're like a dynamic team.
I'm calling it right now. Stuart Hagestad is a top 100 golfer in the world.
I'm not denying that. I'm just curious if they could have beaten anybody today.
Mm-mm. No, because we're losing 6.5, 1/2. So maybe if they played against an American team, but
Yes, they would have beaten American team today for sure. Pick them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many American teams do you think Block and Hagestad would have beat?
just that Shoffley, Colin Morikawa, unfortunately.
What did they lose?
They lost today to not Tommy Fleetwood, to Matt Fitzpatrick and Roy McIlroy, 5-3
Oh damn.
in the afternoon 4-ball.
I'd take Hagestad and like one of the killer junior players, like Blades Brown is a good
Blades
out of
Brown.
Tennessee.
Didn't he just win like the Augusta National kids drive, chip, and putt?
I'm not sure if he was in that or not, but I mean, he was a medalist at a U.S. amateur event not too long ago. Shot like 64. Kid can play.
All right. How about Gordon Sargent and Stuart Hagestad?
Gordon Sargent.
Yeah, that's the guy that qualified to play in the Masters this year. He was like the amateur at Georgia Tech. He hits it a fucking mile.
Yes.
Oh,
That kid.
Sam Bennett and Stuart Hagestad.
They probably could have won.
I don't know about
Sam
Bennett.
Bennett's got talent.
Bennett's a
Yeah.
stick.
And the difference in a lot of players and people like Sam Bennett right now, Sam Bennett's at the house hustling.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I think that's wrong with U.S. and going to Europe and getting crushed every time. They go over there and they play more for like the Open than they do the Ryder Cup.
So here's something that's interesting. They were talking about this, and I felt like it was one of the good points that they actually brought up on the broadcast. The European team basically played right up to the Ryder Cup, whereas the U.S. there wasn't like a single player that has teed it up for the last 4 weeks.
Right.
And right now, it's looking like that was probably not a good idea.
Justin Thomas should have been playing some Corn Ferry.
And if you yeah. So if you look at Stuart Hagestad, and it's why I'm actually like entertaining the conversation. He won the US Mid-Am this month.
Yeah.
And then he goes in and is on the winning Walker Cup team at St. Andrews. And then he just won the Crump Cup at Pine Valley.
And Michael Block just won last week at the LA Amateur to get her LA whatever the fuck to get into the fucking events he gets into.
I think it was the Southern California.
There you go.
PGA. Yeah.
Block and Hagestad are hot, man.
EJ loves some Michael Block, and I embrace it because I love it.
All right, how many points do you think Khaled would have got?
I was about to say,
I'm not
even make the trip to the Ryder Cup. Like, have we seen IG Khaled at the Ryder Cup? Because if he didn't go, that's why we're losing.
Yeah.
No.
Do you think Rory and Fitzpatrick could have beat Khaled and Ross?
Khaled, I'll tell you why Khaled didn't go, because he couldn't steal the show. Who do you think has the bigger stick?
Doing Pimp My Ride with their golf cart before they go play.
Who has the bigger stick? Khaled or Big Rick?
Who is Big Rick? Fowler? I'm taking Khaled, man.
Let's not even talk about that. So, I'm sorry I asked that question. I guess I am curious though. I'm asking this honestly. What do you think the probability is that the U.S. can come back from this?
0.
EJ?
Man, I think it's slim,
Zach
bro.
Johnson's the captain. Like this isn't a Ben Crenshaw. I got a good feeling. You know what I mean? Like that ain't trunk slammer, dude. It's a trunk slammer, is what it is. They went out the first day and they shot 80. Slam the trunk, baby. We might as well take it to the house now. It's over.
What do you think, Scott?
I'm a foolish optimist. I'm calling it 50%.
50. Whoa.
How many points do you need them to win in the morning to feel confident going in the afternoon?
All of them.
I said earlier today, if we can get it to within 2 points, so pick up 3 on them tomorrow, I feel pretty good about our chances going into the Sunday singles. And I've already said on this podcast that I think the score on Sunday is going to be 7.5 to 4.5. So
What are they playing in the morning? Is it alternate shot again?
I'll tell you.
And if you know the pairings, I'd love to hear who's playing who.
I'd love to share it with you, EJ.
You the man.
All right, so tomorrow morning, they're leading off with foursomes. We're going to see this is local times.
Tell it and for us American golfers, what is that again?
Alternate shot.
Foursomes is alternate shot,
All right, there we
not a mixed Pinehurst, as some chaps like to play. It is true alternate shot, so they're going off at
go. You make the putt, I hit the tee shot.
Yep, 7:35 a.m. We got Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood playing against Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth.
That's a dub for England.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then match 2, you got Victor Hovland and Ludwig Aberg going off against Scotty Scheffler and Brooks Koepka at
That's a
8:05.
match
Gets
I'd
a
like to see
W on
there.
that one.
That is a match I want to see.
US get a W.
Yep.
So
Now
here's
they
another
have
W.
2.5 points.
Here's another W. You got at 8:05, Shane Lowry and Sepp Straka going up against Max Homa and Brian Harmon.
I would probably
So,
take
like,
the
Europe.
US there too.
I mean, we suck in foursomes, so they're probably all going to be a loss. But, I'm hopeful at least one team will pull out a victory, if not 2.
I don't want to play from where Brian Harmon's playing from.
Well,
So here's one thing to keep in mind. Go ahead, EJ. Go ahead.
and now that you mentioned that, I'm rethinking the Scotty and Brooks pairing. And who are they playing again?
Scotty
Hovland and Aberg.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Hovland and Aberg could beat Brooks and Scott Scheffler.
I don't think so. I think those two get out there and they go, let's kick their ass. And that's what they do.
I think Brooks can gain something from Scotty, and I think Scotty can gain something from Brooks. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
no, but they both got to wake up on the right side of the bed. They both got to hit good golf balls. You know what I mean? They got to be on routine, and everything's got to be perfect. And they go out there and they just crush them, or they get crushed. I mean, you're going to be able to tell in the first 3 holes, I think.
So Scotty knows he's the best player in the world, and Brooks thinks he's the best player in the world. And I think exactly to EJ's point, they both have something to gain from each other.
Yes.
And
if Scotty Scheffler got any bit of Brooks's swag, confidence, and all of that shit in him, he would be fucking insanely dominant. And
yes.
if Brooks got any of Scotty's carefree, I can get up and down from anywhere. It doesn't matter where I hit the ball. It's all good. I love golf attitude. Brooks would also be incredibly dominant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong on that.
So Brooks got asked today, there's 24 incredible golfers, on the field all at once. And if any of them, if every one of them were given the opportunity to have the ball in their hand, for an 8-foot putt to win, how many of them would actually want it, like truly want it? And Brooks said a few. He's like, sure, everybody would say that they want it, but he's like, who would actually have a conviction? He's like,
Who
it
are
isn't
those
very many.
few?
He didn't say.
I know that. That's why I want to know, who do you think those few are?
Who? Well, Pat's got a stutter. Pat.
Put his hand out first. Going, give me that ball.
We don't know what you just said because there was a horrible stutter.
Uh-oh. Found the middle of nowhere. Is it better now?
Yeah,
Yes.
say it again.
Okay. No, Rory, Koepka, Hovland, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas really wants the ball too, but he's not going to make it. He really wants it though.
I would say Brooks.
Facts.
I would say Brooks, Justin, Hovland, and Fitzpatrick. Those are the guys that want it.
I think Fitzpatrick's going to pump fake it. I think he's
LeBron
gonna go,
doesn't want the ball. Like, you got to think about that. Like,
too much is
no,
dependent
LeBron
on.
wants the ball.
LeBron doesn't. LeBron has passed over the majority of his career when it came time to shoot. In the crunch time, LeBron doesn't want the ball.
No, look, I'm sorry. I am a massive LeBron fan, and I've tempered it because LeBron's a crybaby, but LeBron loves having the ball. There's one issue though. There's nobody that has ever probably gotten more attention than LeBron in the final minutes of a game since Jordan, if not in the history of the NBA. So LeBron knows damn well that any team is happy to go and throw a double or a triple team on his ass to try and stop him from taking a shot or try and stop him from driving to the hoop, because that's where he's really dominant, is within 8 feet of the hoop.
Yeah, but what's LeBron, 6'9", 280?
6'8", 260. But yes, exactly.
Okay,
I
right.
mean,
so he's 6'8", 260. But also Steph Curry gets at least double coverage when the final minutes are coming down, and he's 6'4", 210.
Same thing with Kobe.
Yeah.
Well, I think
LeBron's triple is everybody else's double. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's a big difference too. I mean, like, you look at Steph, he's going to take shots just inside a half court. So how many people are really going to step out and play a hard defense and get up in his face with that much room left between him and the hoop? Not much, because of the fact that the defense is spread out so much. They're there, but there's a lot. The defense is spread out. They're not going to get up in his face, so he's like, hell yeah, I'll take the shot from 10 feet behind the line. But
because
LeBron,
that's his only play.
Exactly, and that's why
he's not big enough to go drive against him.
Exactly, and that's why anybody who ever makes the argument that Steph Curry is the best, or through one of the 3 greatest players of all time, they clearly don't know basketball, and I don't know basketball that well, but I can tell you right now, Steph Curry will go down maybe as the greatest shooter. If you don't want to recall Steve Kerr, as coach.
Okay.
Wait.
Steph Curry is way better than Steve Kerr. The only person in the same conversation when it comes to shooting with Steph Curry is Reggie Miller. But we've deviated again. So back to the podcast topic.
But at the same time, Steph Curry won't be the greatest shooter long because everybody can shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Because he changed the game. He made it to where everybody wants to shoot the 3.
The game changed probably 20 years ago where everybody started learning how to shoot.
Yeah.
And he was the
Yep.
first guy to be a true sharpshooter.
All right.
Yes.
So we have Kobe, Rory,
Kobe.
Koepka.
Yeah.
Who else wants the
Kobe,
ball?
definitely. Nobody wants the ball more than Kobe, we promise.
Yeah. Rory, Koepka. Who else did you say? Hovland, JT, and Spieth?
No, I love Jordan, but I don't even know what he wants. I would say Justin and Koepka.
Do you think Fowler wants it?
I'd be okay
He
with it.
wants it more than anybody right now.
Do you think
He's a
Harman
phenomenal
wants
putter. Yeah.
it? I think both of them do. I think Brooks really wants it.
Oh, he's not letting you get it. That's the thing.
See, and
I'm gonna say this right now.
He's got that tiger in him of like, no, this is my ball.
I think he has that because he went to live.
No, he had it beforehand.
Nah,
Let's just remember.
It made it worse.
Let's just remember
because people started hating him more because he went to live.
Yeah.
I'll say let's not forget who has the most majors in this thing.
Brooks.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
Yeah. I mean,
not by a long shot because Rory's got 4.
Yeah.
Okay. A long shot in playing history. There you
go. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm concerned, man. After day one, I would be concerned. The U.S. needs to win 3.5 in the morning.
So here's my take on it.
Let's go back to the rest of the players. We only got like two pairings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So I feel like the U.S. just needs to get like 2, if not 2.5 in the morning.
All right.
Because
So they get 2.
So if they only get 2.5, how many does Europe get?
1.5.
Okay. I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they get 2, if they get 2 and Europe gets 2, it's what, 8.5 to 3.5? We got to win all 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So Shane Lowry and Sepp Straka are going up against Max Homa and Brian Harman. That's match 3 at 8:05, and then you got John Rahm and Tyrrell playing Patrick Cantley and Xander Schauffele at 8:20.
I love that match.
They have to make it to the back 9, but not many holes.
I love that match.
Yes.
Rahm and Carol Hatton are must-see TV.
Yeah, because they're 2 of the biggest hotheads.
I mean, like, I love that match so much.
And they're both bulldogs too, though.
Yeah.
I would expect them to maybe win 9 and 8.
That's what I'm talking about.
So here's one of the interesting things.
Terrell Hatton and John Rahm in a match of golf, like if it's not the Ryder Cup and it's at your local club, like you're worried about fighting in the parking lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like let's take this away from the Ryder Cup. Let's take this to y'all's favorite Dunedin. And let me know how you feel when you get done. Like these dudes might kill me.
Don't you start talking about our Dunedin.
Dude, you see what I'm saying?
Those are fighting words, all right, Pat?
Hold on. Yeah. Who are they playing? Who's Rahm and Hatton playing?
Xander and Patrick.
And Xander Schauffele.
Man, I fucking forgot. As soon as you said Rahm and Hatton, I was in. Xander and Cantlay.
You traitor. You traitorous bastard.
No, I'm not traitorous. I'm a huge John Rahm fan.
I am too.
You know I'm not. I'm also a huge Tyrrell Hatton. And that's the fucked up thing is these guys spend all their time on the PGA Tour, so I'm like a fan of theirs. I don't really fuck with Xander and Patrick Cantlay.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like
John Rahm is just a really nice
because
guy.
Xander was great to my kids. You know what I'm saying? Xander was awesome to my kids. And he's a nice guy. And I'm rooting for him to win. But like Cantlay he embodies everything bad. Slow play, just not giving a fuck. You know what I'm
He
saying?
wears
Like,
2 blues at the same time.
yeah, like multiple shades of the same blue. Just bad shit. You know what I
You know
mean?
what else
Like
he
shit you
does?
don't do
Mad
on the
white
golf
belt
course.
energy.
Yeah, you
There's
don't
nothing wrong
wear
with the white belt.
a
I know. I
navy
wore one the other day.
sweater with some navy slacks. Like, you just don't do that.
Yeah, he's like the blue Adam Scott.
I do actually have a question that has been
The
just
blue Adams.
burning. It's been burning inside of me for a while now. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Because, Cantley does it too. Why are high waters back?
What,
I
like the
walk.
pants that don't
Yeah,
go all the way down to like your ankles?
yes.
Oh,
Like,
I love them bitches, man. The shorter, the better.
oh my gosh.
Really?
So
I don't
explain
think
to
I
me.
could bring myself to wear that.
EJ, I want 300 words minimum. Why wearing pants so short that you can see somebody's socks? And I don't mean just being able to see your socks, but like somebody can tell the pattern and how fruity you are. 300 words, go. I'm going on mute so I don't
Okay.
interrupt you.
So, I'm assuming he's got pants cut properly and he's actually wearing them at his waist. When you wear a suit, you can actually see your socks when you wear them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even like the classic cut suits from back in the day. You can still see socks. You may have to sit down to see them, but that's how pants are cut. European and like joggers are fly, so ankles are out when it comes to men. You know what I mean? Hoochie daddy shorts are in, knees are out, thighs are out when it comes to men. So if you are now the PGA Tour and you're requiring these dudes to wear shorts or to wear pants, and it's hot as fuck outside, I would try to golf in like capris. You know what I mean? To see what I could get away with just off of the strength of coolness and comfort.
You're not wrong on that last statement right there. Keep going.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have joggers that I play golf in, and they're extraordinarily comfortable. Dry fit. You can wear them in the heat. You can wear them when it's cold. It's just good material. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Technology increases in fashion, and that's just how pants are cut. I think that might be 300 words. He must be
I
getting
think
a
that
drink.
was easy 300.
He must be getting a cocktail.
I think that was an easy 300. But I will tell you what, though. You're right. I'm not a fan of the joggers, though. I'm not a fan of the joggers and having the what a spandex or the
Yeah.
tightness at the ankle. Like, nah, not a fan. Not a fan. But at the same time, like, I grew up in the early 2000s. Like,
Me
we
too.
had bunches of pants on our shoes. Like, I feel comfortable when my pants cover the top of my shoes.
Yeah.
You know?
EJ,
Like the boot cut look. Yeah.
Correct.
EJ,
The boot cut look. Yes.
Yeah.
I was not getting a cocktail.
Oh.
I was debating whether I was going to drive to your home right now and throw something at your car.
No, you know
He
I've
made a
got
good
legs
point.
to stand on.
He made a really good point.
I think every point you made was awful until you got to the point of it's hot.
Well,
Um,
outside of the fact that it's hot, that's what's trending now. So if you're
He's
getting
not wrong
paid,
with a suit though. Like a suit, like the pant doesn't touch your shoes. It's supposed to hover right there above it.
right?
so
He's
I
not
have no
wrong.
I have no problem if when you sit down, if when I sit down, my socks are visible. Totally okay. Because I mean, I don't want my pant legs to be so long that they actually touch the ground and end up getting frayed. Because that is a very realistic thing if you don't get your cut right. Also, I don't think
Who's his clothes sponsor?
who's
Cantlays.
Hugo Boss.
Okay, that's a
No,
European
Hugo
company.
is definitely going to be about having the short pant. I mean, That's Hugo Boss.
Yeah, that's a European company.
Yeah, I just
If Brooks Koepka shows up with joggers on tomorrow, I'm gonna go, boy, he wears Nike.
He will for sure wear joggers tomorrow. Justin Thomas might wear joggers too.
What's he wearing these days?
Joy?
He's wearing a company named Grayson.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's got Grayson. He had FootJoy for his little intermediate period.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got Grayson now, which Grayson's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grayson and like Roback right now are getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roback's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's still nothing like a Peter Millar, in my opinion.
That's true. That's
Do you
true.
guys
I mean, that's the shirt these days. Like, if I run across a Peter Millar, I'm like, I'm getting that. And then there's one that's in like a lot of pro shops that I'll get, like a Holderness and something, I think. I got a couple of
Holderness and
those.
Born.
Yeah, those are nice. I got a couple of those.
Have you worn Linksole?
I have one shirt. I got a High Hampton shirt from there. Yeah.
So when it comes to tops,
No, it's a
man,
Wade shirt. Is what it is. Yeah, it's a striped Wade shirt. Yep.
when it comes to tops, man, I love those Linksole shirts. They actually make like a cotton or they're cotton blends, but they're thin and somewhat resilient. And I can wear those to the golf course and I can wear them to work and I feel good. I feel like I look good. And to me, that's kind of cool because, some people pick me out as a golfer when I wear my Peter Millar or when I wear my FootJoy. And when I'm rocking a Linksole, which, hey, I'm proud to be a golfer, but when I'm rocking my Linksole, I'm not getting somebody saying, "Oh, are you ready to go play the golf course today?
Yeah.
You taking off early for a tee time?"
Do you
And
get
it's
that a
like,
lot?
yes, I do. And
I
it's like,
never get that.
well, I'm sorry, but I'm glad for you at the same time. It's kind of annoying when you're like walking into a business meeting where you're going to talk about $1 million deal, and somebody's like, "Oh, are you taking off for a tea time?" And I'm like, are we going to talk about this? Or are we going to talk about how you think I look like a golfer? Like, come on. So I think maybe that makes me a little biased towards Linksole, where I can wear it and, be professional and also be me. But yeah, I do feel you on the Peter Millar, Pat.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're
You
great.
know why? I have one gripe about golf attire these days. I have one gripe, and it's the thinness of shirts.
Well,
Because some of us gentlemen with chest hair, we don't like walking around with shirts that look like we got popcorn ceilings inside of our shirt.
Fair.
And that bugs me.
should
And
this
I
be the
think
final
that, like,
five?
I think
Yeah.
that you should be able to wear a shirt and not have to, and be able to buy a shirt and not have to worry about, is my chest hair going to show through? You know what I mean?
I do.
We should have that covered at this point. And I know that there's a lot of men that are choosing not to rock it, but I've never cut it all off, so I got to keep it,
Nah, man. Keep the chest hair.
Just give me some shirts that I can be confident in that I'm buying this and I don't have to go try it on in a pro shop to see if I can see my hair sticking through.
So while we're discussing
Let's
this,
do better, golf. Let's do better. Grow the game for people with chest hair.
yes. Let's also grow the game for people whose nipples chafe.
Correct.
From dry fit. I've found out that
Yes.
I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm taping my nipples when I play
Yep.
golf. I'm taping my nipples when I run. And
Yep.
let's free the nipples. You know what I'm saying? Free the chest hair, free the nipples. And
Because
let
the shirt that protects your nipples is going to protect my chest hair as well.
100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for
Yeah.
anything satin or silky or anything.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Just some Pima
And that's
cotton that's got some girth to it that can just.
and that's why I love Linksoul, because even if their stuff isn't fully cotton, it's cotton blends, baby. And
How your
Travis
nipples feel,
Matthew,
Scott.
I don't have to think about how my nipples feel, so I guess they're good.
Do you rock Travis Matthew?
I do. So
I do too. I like their shit.
Travis has
I was given a
some
pullover.
good
That's the only
stuff.
thing I've ever worn. Travis Matthews. I've never
What?
bought any. But I was given a pullover.
Okay.
Like that. That's the only Travis Matthews I got. Yep.
They got good bottoms, and their tops are good too, but
Their polos are cotton.
they are. Most of them that they do blends as well. And that's actually like my one gripe with them is that they used to be cotton with some blends, and now they're pretty much all a blend. And
I'm
they've got
okay with the blend. The blend is chafe free.
yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Anybody have any final takes before we slide out of here?
No, I think that was mine. We need to do better with shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also the other thing that pisses me off about shirts is the button placement.
Yeah.
I would love standardized button placement. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if we're gonna make a polo, the buttons are gonna be at this distance, and this distance from the collar.
I think
Because
you should have closer buttons, but 4 buttons instead of further and just 2.
yeah, give me
Give
mad
me
buttons,
3.
man.
Give me 3 buttons, but give
Yeah.
me one that's close to the top, kind of like a dress shirt,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Not all the way to the top, but close to the top, like a dress shirt. Or I'm not looking like Bubba, but I got my shirt nice and tight.
We should use buttons for drinks. You know what I'm saying? Every polo should have 6 buttons on it. And as you have a beer, you should unbutton a button. By the time your shirt is fully open, you're cut off.
Okay, Harry. Okay, Harry.
And you have to be wearing a gold chain at that point. Like you
Yeah,
get a free
100%.
chain.
And then your chest hair doesn't matter.
It was poking through on purpose this morning.
Oh,
I
man.
love it.
All right, guys. Anybody got anything
All
else?
right,
Scott,
man.
you got anything you want to get off?
I did, but this thing just went so sideways I forgot about it.
I'm sorry, brother.
That's okay. Don't feel sorry for me.
All right, gentlemen. It was a
All right.
pleasure.
Yo, we good.
I do have actually one last thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
What you
go
got?
for it.
Here it is. USA, baby.
Oh,
Don't lose
God.
faith.
We're dead.
Have a good
See you,
night.
boys.
Adios.
All right.